What's up, everybody? You're watching First Place, and we are here with another episode of In the Driver's Seat. Today, I'm sitting here with Tokyo. He is a founder and owner of UkiyosUnknown. Thanks for stopping by, Tokyo. Let's start with your origin story, like who you are and how UkiyosUnknown came to be.
Uh, well, that's a layered answer, but for sake of the interview, I'm just a self-taught designer. I taught myself how to do everything from cut and sew to, everything. And at first, when I first got into fashion, I knew I wanted to. I knew that I wanted to do something in fashion. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to design or like style or do something else. But then I slowly started just making my own clothes because I was going out and shit. And you shop at the mall.
Yeah.
And it's 10 guys wearing the same thing you had on. So I started designing for myself. And then eventually I was like, I really like this. I would want to, I feel like I have things to say. So then I started working on the brand and stuff like that. So after a few years of just working on it and see where I wanted to go with it, that's where it ended up coming from. I ended up starting.
All right, your brand name hints at embracing the unknown. Can you unpack that for us?
Yeah. So it's just there's a bunch of things in this world that we don't know. There's a bunch of things about ourselves that we don't know, and I really just want to embrace exploring all of our unknowns, whether it's something new that you want to get into, something anything that you're curious about. It's don't be scared, don't worry about other people judging you about it or making fun of you. Just embrace that unknown, because you never know what you will find. You will find something great. I wasn't always big into art at all, and when I started getting into it, it felt a little weird just because it was something foreign and none of my friends were into it. And then as I started slowly getting into it by myself, it started, I found a bunch of things that I like. I found that I love fashion, I love designing. So I just want to, inspire people to embrace their unknown pretty much.
Were you always into fashion growing up, or was it kind of like a phase by phase type of deal for you?
I think I've always liked to look a certain way. I'm not saying like every time the style would change or whatever, but I wasn't always hella into fashion. I liked certain things, and when I liked it, that was that. But no, I wasn't always into fashion.
Did you have any inspirations, maybe like that when you first started designing? Who were maybe some of your inspirations?
Inspirations when I first started designing, I really don't know as far as people's style. I mean, I guess you could say I don't know, actually. When it comes to designing, I was just designing things that I wanted to
wear.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
You were designing purely for yourself type
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
It's funny. I hear that a lot with not only designers but graphic artists. They want to wear stuff that they don't see, that people don't make. It's because they want it to fit a certain way. They want it to look a certain way. Brandon Balenciaga. He has the same type of thing. He hated how his pants fit, so he made his own pants. So you're kind of on the same vibe, which I respect. Yeah, because that's real dedication to have to design and get it manufactured. That's not easy, bro. So
no, it's definitely not.
So back to the brand. You offer both menswear and women's wear, and was that always a part of your plan type thing, or?
I think so. Yeah. A lot of my inspiration for designing and style in general comes from women. I watch women's clothing way more than I could ever pay attention to men's clothing.
Yeah.
So it was always a thought of mine that I wanted to design for women and stuff like that. Cause women are fire, bro.
Some of the pieces on Chanel, you see men wearing, and that's just
exactly.
it's just because it's so fire. So
fire. And I really love to almost mix genres, or not genres but genders, I guess, when it comes to certain things or certain fabrics. They're oh, that's for women's, a women's dress. I'm nah, I kind of want to use it for something rugged, It's
yeah.
I really like women's clothing.
Women's clothing. Okay, so along with that, your look of the brand, it balances minimalism and intentional artistry. It's it's a mix of both. And what's the aesthetic that you're shaping for the brand? Is there a certain look that you're going for, aesthetic?
Yeah, I think what you said is pretty on point, just because like I do love the minimalist of it all, but like I also love like the artistry, you know. But I don't like too much like either like logo mania or just like too much graphics. It just like kind of takes away from the silhouettes and like cuts and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, like you said, like I really think that's what it is, you know, minimal, but like there's a intentional artistry to it.
Intentional.
If there is a graphic, it's very intentional. If there is like a layer, or like multiple layers or whatever it is, it's intention for it. So
I have to ask because you mentioned it,
Yeah.
but like those logo heavy pieces, like
Yeah.
from like Louis V or like Balenci, which is Balenci all over.
Yeah.
Do you feel like those pieces are like a scam?
Yeah, but like I think that's how they make their money, you know, because Balenciaga is like expensive as hell, and those pieces are expensive, but they're on the cheaper end of their stuff.
Of their compared to their runway stuff.
Exactly. So if you just want to buy into the world of Balenciaga, people are gonna buy that, you know. I think it's a scam because one, it's ugly. Two, like no shade to Balenciaga. I love Balenciaga, but like that, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah. So since we're talking about pieces, let's talk about some of your pieces. Tell me about like the signature pieces, like the Wabi Sabi hoodie or the Amaterasu blazer. Like, how did you conceptualize those two pieces in particular?
So the Wabi Sabi hoodie, that was actually, so I used to have a partner when I started this, and she came up. It was a girl. She came up with the initial idea of like the split, you know, and I thought that was like so fire. And I really don't know where her mind came from with that. Like I don't know. She's like a talented person.
Yeah.
But like the second hoodie and stuff like that, I really did that because I really enjoyed the weight of a like hood, like, you know, you layer up with a jacket and a hoodie. I love the weight of it. It feels good. And sometimes, like, you know, I still want to hide, but I want that weight. So I really like, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
The blazer, I was actually making that for a homie's like wedding.
Yeah.
I was designing a suit for a homie's wedding. And then like, as I was designing, they're saying like, oh, it's going to be all black. Like you have to wear all black. And I was like, and at first I kind of did it as like a little fuck you.
Yeah.
Because like, it's a huge sun on it. Suns are yellow, you know, like, but like, you know, I wanted to stay within it. And then I named it that just because I'm really into like, just like a lot of things, but the name of that really just is like an eternal flame. And I feel like that was perfect for like a wedding.
Wedding,
like,
yeah.
The love of two people, you know, eternal flame is like eternal flame, sorry. And that's kind of where that came from.
Hey, if you ever need blazers for weddings, hit this man up, all right? That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't even think of that, like that sun being that meaning. That's definitely unique for right there. So with UkiyosUnknown being right now a small operation for you, like how do you maintain quality control but like making sure you get your thoughts out, like with the art?
So right now, I think it's the easiest right now because I'm so small. It's easier for me to like go through every piece that we get. It's easier for me to, you know, it's more expensive to get my thoughts out because I am so small. You know, like I'm not ordering like 400 pieces of something, you know, like I'm not doing that. So like it's more expensive, but it's easier as far as quality control goes because the quantity is so small.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much how that goes.
So
you know,
right now it's chill, but as you grow, it'll probably get more hectic.
As far as quality control goes.
Yeah, as far as control.
And it will just get cheaper to like make my visions come to life once the bigger I get.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. That is true. So as far as like the culture of your brand and the type of people that connect with it, how would you describe your culture of the brand?
That is actually something like that I'm redesigning at the moment. Just because, I don't know, I felt like a sense of, like, I'm tired of, like, the algorithm, you know, like, there's certain things that you have to make or certain ways you have to pose for things to get pushed out to the world.
I see so much of, like, the same pieces, right? Like, right now, all I see is, like, those hoodies, the puff prints, like, that are being pushed, like, crazy everywhere. It's just like that's one of the examples I'm thinking of that when you said that.
Exactly. So like, I think I fell into the trap at one point. I released like some camo shorts, and I loved them. I made them for me initially.
They
Like,
look sick though. They look
no, they're
sick.
sick, right? But I did that because I knew people loved camo. Like that was in at the moment, you know. Granted, I did love them. I still love them. I wear them all the time. But like I did it because I knew people would buy it, you know. So it like kind of like right now I'm like rebranding.
Rebranding.
Yeah, because I don't want to follow the algorithm. I want to. That defeats the purpose of having a brand if
Yeah.
we're all making the same stuff.
shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as far as kind of similar like vibe of the question, but do you have any standout moments of like someone tagging you to say like this piece is fire? Any like notable moments from running the brand so far?
There's been a few notable moments like I love just when people tell me like, dude, like I really, you know, I don't usually dress like this, but I took a chance because I really liked it, and now I love like how I look, I love how I feel and stuff like that. Those are always great things, like when people tell me that it's inspiring in some way or something like that, or like when like an artist that I like reaches out and like wants to wear something, I'm like, dude, this is sick. Like,
Yeah.
it makes me feel good for sure.
It definitely feels good to know that someone that you fucked with wants to wear your shit, you know. So that's definitely a good feeling. So how does your personal background, like your heritage, your journey, and your challenges, like how does that shape the narrative of UkiyosUnknown so far? Like,
I think my background and like just life experiences shapes all of it. Everything that I make is like me telling a story from my life in some way or shape or form.
yeah,
Even the smallest things, it's like, oh, like I don't even know the smallest thing that I like release, but like everything I make pertains to my life directly.
yeah.
And I just think it's stories that other people can relate to, you know?
So back to your brand, back to the process. Walk us through your production process. Obviously, gatekeep and keep your secrets, but what's like the sourcing materials? Like, how does your process work?
For sourcing, 9 times out of 10, it's extremely hard to find like the fabric that I use for a sample in a bulk to make the production run.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I make all the samples at home. That's usually a little harder to find the same exact fabric. But yeah, so you know, as far as like the sourcing goes, yeah, I try to find the closest thing to what I made the sample with, if not the same thing. You said sample production. Production, the process is pretty simple. Like, I don't know, like I studied everything that I'm doing for a while before I jumped into it.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard for me, and I don't really get that many fuck ups, I guess.
Okay.
Even though there were some huge ones, but like, you know, I learned quickly.
Can you maybe say one of those fuck ups?
Oh
like...
yeah, like our first drop, it was the Kyoto hoodie. It's like a tan, like parka looking hoodie.
Yeah. Yep.
And so we didn't know like shipping was gonna take as long. So shipping took like 50 days because they shipped it through like sea or something like that.
Sure.
And we just thought like, oh, it'll get here. Like, they're shipping it now. It'll get here before we dropped. And we already had like announced everything or whatever. And we're like, okay, it's gonna get here probably this day. It didn't come for like another 2 months almost. Not only that, they came in like terrible. Some of the labels weren't shipped on. Some of the pockets were upside down. It was like so bad. But that just came from not really not having a great, like we didn't research the manufacturer enough to know is this a good manufacturer or is this a bad manufacturer? Are they going to take care of us or are they just going to finesse us because they know we're not close?
Yeah.
You know, which happens a lot to people. So that was definitely one of the fuck ups. I never let that happen again though.
Cool. Along with, so that sounds like a challenge, right? That you have to deal with. And What's been some of the toughest challenges that you maybe dealt with so far since running this brand? Was it that one? Was that the main one? Was there any other challenges that you
That
maybe
was
dealt with?
a good one. No, I mean that was one of them. But challenges really is just like for me, for the brand, it's just like growth necessarily, like getting things into the right, like to the right people, to the right crowd, as far as like eyes.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I just think that's just been the more harder thing because as an artist, I don't think my first instinct is to like parade the stuff that I'm doing around. I don't know, like I just feel like I'm an artist. I'm supposed to be creating. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Supposed to do.
So it makes it hard for me to be like, hey guys, look at this and like buy this or whatever it is, because I don't want to push it on people, but I do want people to see it, and if they like it, go for it. You know? So like growth has been like a little tricky for me, and because I don't really go outside, so it's hard for me to like meet people and like. But yeah, that's been like the biggest thing, honestly.
So you mentioned growth.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for growth? Like, what are some of your thoughts going into like how you should grow the brand more?
Like I'm not in a rush because I'm not trying to be like an overnight thing. I want this to be something that lasts, something that, you know, has a community and stuff like that. And recently, I got an intern. Her name's Nicole, bro. Like she's fire. She like helps me with like all the marketing and stuff like that now, like moving forward and like all the plans that we have going. So like I definitely been looking into like help for that. So yeah, I definitely do want to grow, but I'm in no rush to grow fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sidetrack here.
Yeah.
Do you have any hot takes, like fashion hot takes, something that'll get the people talking? Maybe like a controversial take you have.
I feel like if you don't really have anything to say, like you probably shouldn't be designing. Like you shouldn't have a brand.
So if you don't have anything negative to say,
like if you don't have anything to say in general,
to say at all, like
like if you're just copy and pasting what the next person does, why do you have a brand? That really doesn't make any sense. I mean, because if you're in it for the money, I don't think this is the smartest way to make money. You know,
no, not at all.
If you just out here like you want a brand just to say you have one, stop. Like don't.
Wait, hold on. Say stop.
Stop. Stop. Seek help for real.
Seek help for that.
Like
Shit.
it's not worth it.
Back to the brand. Who would you want most to collaborate with? Is there any like designer or artist that you maybe just want to work with?
Honestly, I'm so down to work with like any artist, anybody who loves what they do. I'm like completely open to. As far as a particular person, not necessarily, but if anybody hit me up, I'd be like, fuck it, let's do something, or like, you know what it is, because I can learn from anybody.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to do something with like some museums. Like I want to hold like an installation at a museum or something, even if it's for like one day. Like, so yeah, like I would love to do that in the Bay, but like, you know, I don't really have any connects here. Yeah. So, you know, Day Young needs to hit me up. MoMA needs to hit me up. I'll do something there for sure. Or any small gallery, I'll do something.
Project it. You gotta say it. You gotta say it out loud.
MoMA hit me up. Day Young hit me up. Any galleries hit me up.
Hit them up.
It'll be a fire installation, I promise. Swear.
Yes, sir. So, as you grow, if you hit a point, let's say you hit 10,000 followers, you're a full-blown production team now. How would that affect your philosophy? How would that change it? Would it stay the same?
As far as philosophy goes, it's gonna stay the same.
Yeah.
Because that's where like the intention lies. You know. Yeah. I definitely don't want to change it because of that. If the growth happened, the only thing that would probably change is just like the numbers I produce. They would still be low just because I like it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly philosophy is gonna stay the same.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Finally, the last question for the normal questions, regular questions. Do you have one piece of advice for emerging designers, maybe like a kid in high school who's watching this, who value quality over hype?
Quality over hype for sure. But just like go for it, bro. Whatever it is, just try it, because people are gonna try to make you not go for it, or you're gonna find every reason in the book to not go for it. You're like, oh, this this person's already doing it. This person's already doing it. If you really want to do something, go for it. You know. Yeah, I don't really have much advice unless like they ask me for a specific question. But I think most people, you know, they're too scared to go for things these days because like for some reason it's not cool to like look like you're trying.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. You know, you should try. Like try
Isn't that
anything.
crazy nowadays?
Yeah.
Like you look crazy if you're trying.
Yeah, people are like, oh, he's trying. Like he has no shame, and it's like.
We're in that era where it's cool. It's like you got to be nonchalant.
Like,
you got to be
nah, man. And I hate that. That's something I hate. Being nonchalant is literally the worst thing that happened to like this generation. Like, because yeah, it looks cool. Like if you're in a movie, but in real life, like you're gonna miss out on things because you're trying to be too cool. You know, like that girl or that boy you like, you're trying to act nonchalant, like you don't care about them. They're gonna leave. You're trying to act nonchalant about like the stuff that you're doing, like, oh, I made this, look at it, but like not trying to show people. People are gonna pass it by because they're not gonna think you're passionate about it. So being nonchalant is no go. Stop it. If I catch you being nonchalant, it's gonna be a problem.
That's a great answer. Great answer. So now we have the first place questions.
Yes, sir.
Questions focused about cars and shit like that. So.
Yeah.
If you had a dream 3-car garage, what would those 3 be?
Okay. This might be like, I guess kind of like, they're not like the coolest cars ever, I don't think. All right, so like a 69 Bronco for sure.
Okay.
Like, I would say like 90, 93 just because like OJ type shit. But I like the 69. That's my favorite one. What else? Probably a 500 SL. Okay. 1991 for sure.
The merch.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
This shit's fire.
It is. They look good.
Yeah. And I don't even know if I'd drive it all the time. I get a soft top just like I let my hair blow in the wind, you know. And then last but not least, 70 Chevelle. That's my favorite car of all time. Ever since I was a kid, I like love that car.
Love that Chevelle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fire. So those are my top 3.
Now,
let me ask you.
Oh, shit.
Before you say what you're about to say, what are your top 3?
All right, let's go. I did a E36 M3.
Okay.
That's number 1.
Yeah.
I want a 3rd gen 4Runner.
Oh,
a 3rd gen 4Runner lifted. That's like my family. That's
the
cool.
family whip?
Yeah. Isn't that be cool? All black, murdered out.
Yeah.
3rd gen 4Runner. And then a 3rd one. I have my Euro, I have my family. Damn, that's a good. I never thought about this.
Wait, so you asked people this and never thought of this for yourself?
Nah,
that's kind of crazy.
You got me off guard, bro. You caught me off guard.
You gotta think. You gotta.
Oh, probably the McLaren F1.
Ooh.
Those 3, yeah.
Nah, that's
those 3. I think that's like my dream. What? Leave it, thumbs down. That thing is beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful whip for sure, bro.
So. E36 M3, the fucking McLaren F1, and the 3rd gen 4Runner. I thought it's like a overall
like it covers all the grounds.
Covers all the grounds. I think that's where I'm at. I feel like I want a 3-car garage that covers like
everything,
all like the grounds. So
yeah, that's fire.
Okay, so do you play any racing games as a kid? Growing up, is there any favorites that you have, or did you kind of avoid that?
No, I definitely played racing games. Like there were the funner games, man. Like Need for Speed, like back in the day. I didn't play like what's the one that everyone, well, not everyone, but you have the steering wheel Gran
Turismo?
Yeah, I didn't play that. That wasn't fun for me.
It wasn't
it was too realistic.
So you're not a fan of the realistic shit?
Back then I wasn't.
Back then.
As a kid, I was like, okay, give me the Need for Speed. You know, they Most Wanted was one of my favorites. And then Midnight Club Double Edition. That was like the best game to me. Like it was like GTA, but just for whips. Like, it was crazy. Like the soundtrack was fire, bro. Like,
bro, people don't talk about that enough. The soundtrack is so good on that song. I feel like that introduced me to a lot of like the Atlanta scene. Growing up, because I was just so wrapped around Bay Area shit that like. Yeah.
They had a lot of like the South on the soundtracks.
Yeah, exactly.
So fire.
So yeah, those
those games definitely. I think they definitely have like a impact on me.
For sure.
Now.
For sure. Do you have a favorite Fast and Furious movie?
Oh, definitely. Too Fast, Too Furious. The second one.
Too Fast, Too Furious? The second one.
That was the first, like, woman I fell in love with was Suki, bro. Like, she was so fire to me back then, bro. Like,
hey, I was fucking with Eve Mendes too.
bro, exactly. Like, they had some of the most beautiful women in that movie and beautiful. I didn't even care about the cars, bro. I'm like, yeah, that car is cool, but like, who's the girl standing in front of it? You know, it was fire.
Yeah.
So definitely that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, here's the last question.
Okay.
Very last one. Why do you deserve to be in first place?
Ooh. Like,
Just it should be like, when I ask this question, it's not like why it should be the best. It's more so like, kind of like why you do what you do type thing, type
like
of question.
that.
You feel me?
Yeah. Because I was definitely gonna ask. I'm like, can we all just be in first place? You know.
You can say that too.
Nah, yeah.
But it's
I
really
mean, that's
just more
cool.
of a question about like why people should care about you.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I feel that. Why should I be in first place? I think just because like I care about what I do, but not only that, I think I am telling a story from a perspective that not too many people are telling it from, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people might not get my story or whatever it is, but I think that's why. I think if you look into it, if you take the time to read, which no one does these days.
No one does.
If it's not quick, no one's going to read it or watch it, whatever it is. But I think that's one of the reasons, because I'm very intentional about what I do within my art, you know. I'm very intentional with that. So I think that's a good reason to be in first place.
Cool. So that is it for this episode of In the Driver's Seat with Tokyo, the owner and founder of UkiyosUnknown. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks
dude.
for
Seriously.
having me, man.
Yes,
for
sir.
sure.
Thank you to Johnny for letting us use the space.
Yeah, Johnny.
Nakayama Motorsports.
It's the coolest place I've ever been.
So
even if you don't have a car, come through. Just walk past or something. Beautiful.
So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Peace. There you go.